Hi everyone, welcome to another stream. Finally, we are back again, and let me just see if we are live or not. And looks like we are live. Okay, so we got Flutter in-app tutorial. Good morning. No spam, please. Yes, please, no spam. That would be great. And So, what we are going to do today is basically we will. This is the second workshop for Velocity X, and today we are going to do a lot of other stuff as well, which will be. We will. I'll also give you some of you folks some advantage to talk to me live. So if you want to talk to me live, and the people who are joining from LinkedIn, I will advise you to join from YouTube so that you can get better quality and the overall experience of YouTube will be better, I would say. Also, I will be sharing one link with you people here on YouTube by which you can join. Let me just pin that. You can join me live, and I can hear like your questions, and I'll try to respond you live. So if you have a camera ready with you, and if you are someone who is willing to talk to me, so today is your time. So you can check the pinned comment in this particular chat, so that if you want, you can join me right now. And thanks, Napping Geek has just supported us with 2000 rupees, and thanks Napping Geek Akash. And similarly, if you want, uh, you can also chat with me, you can also donate to this channel. We have some of the folks joined, so we will talk to them, and in the meantime, let me just share my screen as well, what we are about to do. So before I jump to live chat, we have Evans with us. So Evans, we will be talking in just next 2 minutes. But before doing that, we will be also and we have LEFX as well, if I am not pronouncing it wrong. So we will first of all create some, let's say, create a new folder here, tutorials. We will create a new project, and tutorials is already there. CDP, tutorial CDP. And what we will be doing is basically we will see new state management and a lot of other stuff as well. So I'm really excited. So we will start with this dummy project, which is just a hello world thing, and then we will shift to talking to other guys. So in the meantime, it is being created. I will invite uh, one more guy, Ivan, with me. Hi, Ivan.
Hello. I, I,
Hello, hello, hello. How
I
are
don't know
you?
if you can. I'm fine. I don't know if you can hear me well.
I can hear you. I can hear you
Yes, yes, yes. I'm calling you from Kenya.
from Kenya. Awesome,
From
awesome.
Kenya, yeah, yeah.
So
Yes,
how
yes.
how do you pronounce it? Evans, right? Or Evans?
Evans.
Evans. Okay, awesome.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So
Ask any question which you want to ask. I'm here to
I
help.
think for now, I don't have any other question. I don't have question. I was just following up
Yeah.
your YouTube channel. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I hope you like my work, or if you are enjoying my tutorials. It's
Yes, I
great to
enjoy. I
have
enjoy
you
your
here.
tutorials. Yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay,
So
okay.
thanks
Thank you
for
so much.
joining, Evans. I'll see you next time very soon with maybe some questions. So
Yes, yes.
I
Ready.
have Ali FX as well. Let me join him here. Hi, A AFX, right?
IEFX, yeah.
Okay.
IFX.
Hi,
Good
FX.
morning.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you? Yeah, I'm
I'm good.
calling you. Yeah, good morning. I'm calling you all the way from Canada. Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
Awesome.
Please, there are some things that I would like to ask you, maybe off the line. I was the one that mailed you. I don't know. I believe you got the mail. I was the one that
Uh,
mailed you that I need to like ask you some questions, about the uh, cryptocurrency uh, stuff. There are some questions that I would like to ask you personally, or maybe
Okay.
after the program, maybe we could speak on this your podcast. I just signed up. I
Sure,
just signed
sure.
up on it.
We
Yeah.
can do
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay.
I'll try to, maybe after this particular talk we will definitely connect again, or
Good.
after this presentation, and then I'll check the mail as well, where you
Yeah. No
have
problem.
dropped something.
Yeah. I will
Maybe I
write you
missed it.
again. I'll write you again. Yeah, I'll write
Awesome,
you
awesome,
again.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
Okay. Yeah. Have
It's
a good
great to have
one.
you.
Yeah. You too.
Same to you,
Yeah.
same to you. Okay, so we are ready with our project as well. In the meantime, I'll show you that, and we have Nikhil with us. So let me. Hi, Nikhil. How are you?
Hi, sir. Uh, can you hear
How
me?
are you? Yes, I can hear you, and
Yeah.
I hope you are doing good.
Yes, I am doing good. Actually, I have a question for you. Like, not
Yeah,
question
sure.
yet. So, uh, like, first of all, I want to thank you because actually I am working on my startup and I wanted to learn Flutter. So I am following your 30 days with
Yeah,
Flutter videos,
awesome, awesome.
learning from them.
How's the experience so
And
far?
one
How many videos you have watched?
20. Like,
20
you
videos.
stopped uploading in between. So
Yeah, yeah.
I actually shifted to. Do you know Flutter Flow? There is a platform for drag and drop for Flutter. So I actually
Okay.
shifted on this in between. So because it made
Uh-huh.
the UI part very easy. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm not sure about
have
that,
you tried
but.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you tried Jitsi in Flutter?
Jitsi, yes. I mean, I haven't heard about it as such, but yeah, I have like somewhere I have. I think I know a little bit about it. Not very much sure though.
Actually, I was trying to use it in my app, but because only a single library available for Flutter, its implementation in Flutter, and it's also not customizable. So I was trying to find some custom
So
solution. Yeah. So
so
I
you
thought
are
if you
trying to
know about
do live streaming, right? Or what?
live stream, live video call, you can say group call.
Yeah. So Jitsi is basically
Uh,
meet dot google dot com, similar
yeah.
to that, right? If I'm not wrong, right? Oh
Yes.
yes, we actually
Yes. Yes.
used it in one of our streams, like Flutter stream day when we were doing it. So
Mm,
that was there. But yeah, we'll definitely
okay.
talk about it more. Right now we are going back to stream. But thanks
Yeah.
for joining, and
Yeah.
you
Thank
can
you.
definitely continue with 30 days of Flutter, and I'll jump there very soon. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Okay, guys, so now we are back, and our application is running over here, which is a demo app. Let me just remove this thing because we don't need iOS simulator. We are running on Mac OS, and this is what we get. Let me just try to increase the font size a little bit. 24 should be fine, and I hope you can see it now. So what we are going to do, we will be doing some responsiveness thing as well. We will be starting with another way of managing state as well using VelocityX. um, so now what we will do is basically we will remove some boilerplate, and we will see how we can implement state management here. So to do that, one thing is that I just want to remove all the comments from here, and this is unnecessary. By the way, you can still ask your question. Ricardo is from Ecuador. Hi, Ricardo. Tehno Jam from Russia. Hi, Tehno Jam. I hope you guys are enjoying these new streams which we are having these days. So I'm back to business basically. We have Saswat with us as well on the stream. Let me ask Saswat what he has for us, and then we will jump to stream again. Hi Saswat, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
All good?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
if you have
actually,
any
I am
questions
watching
for me.
your video regularly from 2018. I guess I do.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. So So I just see that you make some do the state management thing in VelocityX. So
Yeah.
I hope today you explain those, so it will help for us.
Yeah, that's the idea behind these streams, and there are a lot more streams coming. The thing is that VelocityX has been there for a while now, and it has so many things. But the only thing is that I didn't get that much time to explain all this stuff because documentation is one thing, but I think when something new comes, there is a lot more. Like even if you take the example of Flutter, there are n number of widgets which most of us don't even know, what is the total number of widgets which you can find in Flutter. So that's something very much similar to VelocityX as well. I have done so many things. Even I don't remember what are the things which I have done in last 1 year. So that's why I'm doing this, so that I can also just go through all the things which I have done, and then I can also prepare best content for those as well.
Yeah,
So let's see.
I wish to contribute with your documentation, but I try to find how should I do, but I am not able to get
I can tell you.
that
I
from
can
your
tell
doc.
you that. So what you
Sure,
can do,
sure.
you can create an issue on VelocityX GitHub page itself, and I'll guide you how you can help me with the documentation, because I really need people to
Sh-
help with that. So that's
Sure, I
something
will do.
which
I do.
thanks Aswat, and we will continue with the state management part. Just give me a moment.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so we have this application. I know it's very boring because you have been seeing this a lot. Like this is the plus button. You increase the counter, and all of these things work. Now, how you can use Velocity X state management solution? First of all, when we talk about Velocity X, then and the solution of state management, then obviously stateful widget is something which we will try to remove, because we don't want to do set state. That's why you are looking for a state management solution. So how we can do that, right? There are various other ways of doing it. Let's talk about them for a minute. You can use something called provider. It's a great thing, and I also have used it. Similarly, there is river pod, but there's like one thing which I will tell you, like for these kind of application, like counter, I think you don't have to use any solution. You can just use set state for all these kind of things, because it doesn't matter. But yes, when you have a complex app, then I look for a solution where I can get a good architecture as well. Maybe I it can help me with managing business logic well, and writing the UI as well. That's where I like Redux a lot. But Redux is not very good enough for me. So because I don't usually use the streams power in Redux. So that's when Flutter block comes into the picture. Now the problem with Flutter block was that Flutter block, when you are using, there are lot of boilerplate which you have to write, and I was happy with writing it, but then also I thought, what if we can remove it? Although there was another solution by the same person, Felix. He's a really good friend of mine. So he came up with something called Qubit, which definitely removes some boilerplate. But I mean, yeah, it's good enough if you want to try it. But then we thought about having some in-house solution as well for our company, where we have been building a product. So now, without wasting any more time, let me see how many people are watching us. Almost like 100 people watching us here and there on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So what we will do, so this counter application, so what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna remove stateful nature of this particular thing. So let's remove the title. First of all, we don't need it. Let's make it stateless widget, and then let's remove all of these things. Although I just want to tell this, that state management is a very controversial topic these days. So just please don't get into what is better, what is best. I think everything is best. It just comes to your priority and your experience with all those things. Okay, now because we have removed the stateful nature of my home page, so set state will not work. So we are happy with that as well, and let's remove it. Okay, so now we have this application which looks very simple. And we have my home page where it might be saying why the counter is not final, and that's why it is giving us a warning that it should be immutable. That's fine. We will fix it as well. So first of all, velocity x is kind of like VelocityX has this state management called VxState. VxState is kind of inspired from Storekeeper or Vuex, you might have heard, Redux, Flutter block, all these things. It's a combination of all of them, kind of, and it uses streams. It uses the pattern of Vuex, where you have a store and you have some mutations, and based on those mutation you do some changes, and your UI gets rebuilt. So what we have to do, first of all, we will see this my app, we will wrap it with something called vx state. So I'll just wrap it with vx state, and I have to import velocity x for that. So I'll just, so velocity x I haven't added yet. So last time when I made this video, font size is still small, I guess. So let's increase it to 28. In fact, that should be fine. Okay, now it should be fine. Okay, so I have just updated Velocity X yesterday with another version, which when I was talking about that, I will introduce another widget to Velocity X. So this time I have added some new features as well. So Velocity X new version is 2.5.0. Okay, multiple formatters. Okay. So this is the VelocityX 2.5.0. We have added this, and now we will go back to our yes, it is done. So main.dart vx state, we will try to import this, and to import this we have to have velocity x with us, and vx state is what we got. Now vx state has a property called store. Okay, so we have to have a store here, so we can call it my store. So basically, this store is a single source of truth. I mean, everything will be there in your store. This is like kind of one garage of your house where you keep everything. Let's say, for example, this is the same thing. My store will have everything. You can, it can help you with time traveling as well if you want to get state of your like, you know, your application. Then you can use this my store to get that done as well. And what we will do in lib folder, we will, we can create a store, but let's create here only, so that we will like I stop your internet, my internet is fine, I guess. Okay, so we will create a class called my store, and we will keep these into a single file right now, but we can move it later, and it will extend something called vx store. Okay, so vx store it will extend, and that's what you have to do. So my store extends vx store, and vx state is wrapped by, my app is wrapped by vx state. That's one thing. Second thing which you have to do is, you can say here that okay, I have something called a counter which I want to manage. So you can just say here you have a counter, int counter is equal to 0. Okay, so you have this counter which is initially 0. Now coming to here, my home page, we don't need this counter anymore, and also we will remove this increment as well. Now it is throwing some error here which is saying okay, you don't have a counter, so how you will access it? So inside your build method, let's say here, you can access the store. So you can say final my store is equal to store, let's call it store. We can access it using vxState.store, and using this store we can access the counter store.counter. And because it's in the same file, that's why you can access it, but let's remove the underscore, because otherwise you won't be able to access it. And now we are good, we don't have the increment counter yet, so it should work now. So let's see if it works. We got some error initially, let's do a hot restart, it should work then. and we got this. But now if I click on plus button, nothing happens. So how we can fix it, right? So whenever you have to perform any function, or you have to write a business logic, you have to do some operation, then what you can do, you can use something called mutations. How you will use it? So here we can create a mutation class. So we can just say increment mutation, for example. It will sound like too much initially, because it's a very simple app, but when you will go inside, then it will look very very easy. And you can extend vx mutation here. You can also say that it's a part of my store, and now it will ask you to create one missing override, and that override is perform method. So here you will write your business logic inside this perform. What we want to do, we want to increase the counter. So we can do something called store dot counter plus plus. That's it. That's what you have to do. And then you can just say increase mutation. You can just call this function, call this class here basically. So you can just say increment mutation. That's it. And now if I'll try to increase the counter, you can see nothing still happens, because we are not telling our UI to get rebuild. So how we can do that? Uh, okay, so how we can ask our UI to rebuild whenever there is change. So our UI can watch for the change. How it will watch for it? So that's where we use streams. So you can say vx state dot watch. Okay, you will pass the context and what you want to watch on. So you want to watch on increment mutation. So whenever increment happens, so basically it will tell our UI to watch for it. And that's when you, whenever there will be a change in the increment mutation thing, like the counter will be updated, this will call this build method again. Now we are done. So what we did, first of all, we created a small store. Second, we created a mutation. And third, we are just watching it. There are other ways of doing it, I'll tell you later. But right now, just remember that watching means is basically rebuilding this whole UI. Now if you can see, we have 12 here, and if I click plus again and again, and it is working just fine. So let's do a hot restart again just to cross check. And you can just say plus 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. All these things are working. So that's all you have to do with vx state to manage your manage your state management related stuff. Now there is one question which you might be asking, that this watch is actually rebuilding this build method again. So whole of this UI is getting rebuilt. What we wanted to rebuild was just this counter rather than this whole UI, right? So how you can achieve that? It's very easy. You can remove this vx state dot watch, because that will be used. Let's say you have a piece of UI somewhere where you don't care if the whole widget tree is getting rebuilt, then you can use the vx state dot watch there. But if you have just one single widget which you just want to update when something changes, for example here we just want to update this text, so you can wrap it with something called another widget, which is vx builder or vx consumer, whatever you want to use. So vx builder is there. Let's do one thing. We don't require builder here. Rather, what we can do, okay, let's remove it. Okay, so this is where we have vx builder. So we will just say builder. It will give us two things. One will be context and another will be status. That should be fine. And then we have to tell what are the mutation which it will be listening for. So it will listen for increment mutation. That's it. And now your widget tree will only rebuild this piece of UI, nothing else. So now if we try to increase the counter, you will see everything still works. So that's how you can achieve it. Let's do a hot restart. Let's also see console if everything is working fine. Hot restart again done. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this is working just fine, right? Nothing fancy we had to do, nothing at all, and everything looks just fine. If you have any question, then you can ask right now. If this is the right time to ask it, and that's VX state for you. There are a number of other things which you can do, but this is just one sample. You can have something called effects as well, which can help you with your like if you are dealing with REST APIs, then it can be a great thing. You can also add some interceptors, which can give you what is happening before some event, what is happening after some event. Let's say you want to check the status of for example, let's do it. Let's create an interceptor, log interceptor. Whenever the number of your counter is changing, we want to track it, right? So as I told you, everything is in store. So what we can do, we can create a class. We can say log interceptor, for example, and it will extend vx interceptor, and that's it. And then it will ask you to uh just create two missing override. One is after mutation and one is before mutation, right? So before mutation, we can say our uh, previous state. Previous state was what? We can just say here store dot. Let's say it's of type my store rather. So okay, what it is saying now? Actually, we don't need this in fact. Okay, so here what we can say, we can in fact get the mutation directly. In fact, mutation dot store and status, we have two things. Let's access store, and we have to just tell it like this, because there are various ways you can do it actually, but this is the easiest way. And dot counter. So what it will do, and then we will say return true. True means this mutation will go ahead. Otherwise, if you return false, then this mutation will stop here. Uh, okay. So now this is previous state, or previous. It should be not preview. Previous. Okay. What happened to my spelling? And similarly, for after mutation, this will be our current state. Current state. Okay, and looks good. Now how we will check it? We have to add where we added VX state store, you have interceptor option. So here you can add log interceptor, and then we will do a hot restart. And you can see we have nothing here on the console right now. But now if I click on the plus button once, and you will see previous state was 0, current state is 1. If you can see it, previous state 0, current state 1. Now I'll press 1 again, and you can see previous state was 1, now current state is 2. Similarly, you can just see it will just create stuff for us. So this is one kind of interceptor. Similarly, you can have more interceptors depending on how you want to do this. uh, is there any limit how many mutation we should be in our app? No, there is no limitation. Mutations are nothing but a business logic. It's just a class where you use a function. Rather, it is a class. It is easy to test. These mutations can be very very easy to test, and it also gives you uh, like a way to manage your code easily. You can have some set of mutations, and like whenever you have to, like if you have a team working on your project, you can easily ask them that check the mutations. Using mutations, you can do some analytics as well and all these things. So mutations can be n number of, and it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is VX state for you guys, and now we will move to some responsive stuff. So this is our counter where we are doing. So one more thing is basically the code which we have written for it here, right? We can even improve it more. So you can use VelocityX, and we can just say rather than saying this, we can just say store.counter.text dot headline 4. That's what was written over there, and make, and this will result in the same thing, you will see. So same thing, now it's working still, and that's awesome, right? What else we can do? We can also create one more mutation, right? This is for increment. For example, we can do same for decrement. So we can create a row here, and we can say children, and we can have two buttons rather than one, and we can just say the main axis alignment to be space evenly is not good. Rather and just, oh, and should be fine, and looks good. And then we will add some space between them, so I can just say 10 dot width box, and looks fine. And then one can be minus, so icons dot remove should be there, I guess. Remove, yes. And we also want to change the color. So for color, background color property should be there, and I'll use vx dot green 500, for example, for increment. And for decrement, I will use red 500, and we can just say decrement here. So how we will deal with this? We can say, okay, we have a question. Can we make async mutations? Yes, you can do it. That's totally fine if you want to do it. If you say perform and you add a async keyword here, that will work as well. So there is no such problem. Okay. So that's a nice question, by the way. And decrement we have. Now how we can add this feature? So we can copy our increment mutation, and we will just paste it here. And this time we will just say decrement. So decrement, and rather than plus plus, we will say minus minus. Okay, and that's what we have. Now what we have to say here, when we are saying that we want to update our counter, we were just looking for increment mutation. Now we will add one more, which will be decrement mutation. And for floating action button, for decrement, we will use this one. And that's it. That's all you have to do. That's why I said that this is just one time process. And now if I'll click on this plus, you will see it will be 23, current state 22, sorry, previous state 22, current state 23. Now I'll click on minus, and again you will see 22. So previous state was 23, but now current state is 22. So all these things you can do. And now this is looking fine. And if I go to this wide screen, these buttons does not even go anywhere. So what I want to do, I want to make this a little bit responsive. How I can do that, right? So for big screen, what we will do, we can use something called a new widget, which will be, let's say, VxLayout. And it is a kind of layout builder, but it works really good. How? Let's see that. So what we will do, we will have these buttons as a variable. Okay, extract local variable. We will say children2, for example. Rather than children2, I mean the name can be FABs, right? So we can just say FABs. No, FAB. FABs. Okay, something like this. Fabs. So fabs are there. Now what we can do, we can wrap it with a widget, and this widget is VxLayout. What VxLayout asks for is a builder. So it gives a builder, and in this callback you will get a context, and you will get a window size. So we can say, let's say, size, and then you get some constraint as well. So the advantage which we will get, I'll just tell you what is the advantage. Just give me a moment. Okay, this is what we get, and here I'll just say return. Okay, so now using this size, it is giving me error because we have to do a hot reload. Okay, so now based on this size is new, which does not offered by layout builder. So this is something new. Constraint is still there if you want to use it. So what we will do, we will check if size dot or size is vx window size dot extra small, then we will use row. Okay, or maybe we can, in fact, let's use row only. But if the size is vx window size dot extra small, then we can use main axis alignment dot end. Otherwise we will use main axis alignment dot center, something like this. Let's see if this works. So right now we are on extra small size. It should be fine. Let's expand it and let's see what happens. And you can see as soon as I expanded it, it became a part of it and it looks fine now. And if you go to extra small, then it looks like this. Okay, this is one thing. This looks good. Apart from this is one way of doing. So there are various aspects of VelocityX which you can use. Similarly, let's say we want to increase the font of these buttons. If it is for mobile, then this font is okay. But if it is not for mobile, then how we will do it? So here for let's say here we have something called like size. For size, we have to do it manually, but we can increase the height here. Okay, or maybe not. Mm, we can increase the icon size basically. That may be like let's try it. Let's give it 30 and let's see what happens for increment button. Okay, this is just increasing the icon size. Let's try to increase the floating action button size. So by default it has some size which I am happy with it, but what if we could increase it more? Is extended will not work because it's not an extended button, so it's useless. Um, Another way can be wrapping up this with sized box and doing that, but that will not help. Let's think about something else. Maybe what we would like to do. Uh, do you have any ideas? If you have any ideas, write in the comments right now. I am listening to you. But in the meantime, let's think about few more things which you can do. Yes, you can also use VX device, by the way, VX responsive, which I also shown in the last video or last workshop which we were doing. And apart from that, let's also try to add some animations, right? So this counter which we are using here, what if we can add some sort of animation here? That will be amazing, isn't it? So how we can do that? We can wrap this widget here with another widget which we will say uh, VX animator. Okay, this is getting like too much. This is going too much, guys. So don't worry about that. Dot make, and VX animator will give us an error right now. Why? Because there is animator key builder and all these things. So for builder, we have a child already. We will maybe use this somewhere. So builder will give us two things. One thing it will give will be context. Second thing, it will give us state of the animation. And okay, we got a call. Second thing we got is state, and third thing we got was a child. Okay, and you will just see how we can do animations with very easy stuff like this. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And here, what we can do, we can increase the size and all these things. Okay, what I want to do now, let's add some comma here. Okay. So now this is a state of the animation. We don't have any animation as of now. So what we will do, we will make it dot something like in twin. In twin is basically you can give a beginning value and then you can give a end value. Let's say this font size will be 30. Okay. So let's give it value from 10 to 50, something like this. Okay. And then let's also make it infinite. Okay. And then also have a bounce effect, bounce in, something like this, right? And then how we will give the size of this text, we will give a size state dot value. Okay, lot of stuff happened. Now how we will check this is working or not, we will do a hot restart and let's see how what happens. Okay, let's do the hot restart again. It's not working. Int is not. Oh, okay, we forgot to tell the type here. So let's make it in fact double. Why int? We will call it double twin because the value we want for size will be in double. So now let's do a hot restart again one more time. Did you see the animation which happened just right now? Okay, you didn't see it, but it is happening actually. We cannot see it yet. Let's. So you can see this animation. Now it is happening continuously. But what we want to change it. First of all, bouncing does not look good, and maybe what we can do, we can rotate it, probably something like that. Uh, okay, so so let's do one thing, guys. Let's make it rather than so bouncing is fine, but we don't want to do it infinite. When we want to do it, we just want to do it when someone clicks on plus or minus button, right? So what we can do, we will create one more thing here, which we will be calling animator key. So final animator key, anim, for example, and animator key. That's what we have to just have, and we can call it anim key, let's say. And this anim key we can give to our animation. So here we can give it a key, animator key, basically anim key. And now we will just do a hot restart so that this does not do this animation again and again. And let's do one more thing, guys. Okay, it is for type double, so we have to specify the type as well. So we can just say double here. And here also. And we should be good now. Okay, and initially the let's keep the value of it 30 and then 100. So what we can do, let's do a hot restart one more time. Fade in, fade out, someone is saying. So fade in, fade out, let's do. Fade in, we will get something called elastic in or ease in. It will be same thing. Ease in out, let's add. That will be good. Okay, now we have the button here. Now what we want, when we increment, then we want to animate. So when our mutation is happening, we want to do it that time. So here, when we are saying increment mutation, at that time, what we will do, we will also say anim key dot, and here you will find a lot of things, and so we can say trigger animation. And now let's see if that works. So now if I'll click on the plus button, then you can see. So it's because of the type of animation which you want to do. So ease in, ease out is looking very bad. We can try with something like fast out, slow in type, maybe, or otherwise we will use just linear, which is more like fading. Okay, now let's try. Okay, we have to do a hot restart, guys, to make it work. Um, okay, so plus, and this looks much better, right? And this looks really good. So all these kind of things you can experiment with it. You can also do more wonderful stuff. For example, you can say that you can rotate it. Probably you can, like, for example, let's say we wrap it with another widget. We can say, let's say, transform dot rotate transform. A lot of good stuff we can do with this rotate. It will ask for an angle, basically, and that angle we can give using our state dot value. And then let's see what happens. Okay, it will be something crazy. So now you can see, if I click on plus, and this is what we get. And this is something fantastic, right? Okay, what else we can do? This is not looking good because the last value is 100. Rather than 100, let's make it 180. So then we will see what happens. So hot restart. Uh, and then, okay, initial value is 30, which let's make it 0 so that we don't see anything initially for size. Uh, and then when we click on the counter, then we will see something. Okay, let's click on plus. Okay, this is 180-degree. This is looking awesome. Now let's try with 360-degree. So lot of amazing stuff you can do, guys. And by the way, this is also taking the size as well. So size we can fix for, let's say, 50, just for saying. Let's do a hot restart, guys. So this is too much fun, by the way. You can experiment with a lot of stuff like this with any VX animator. It was very easy to use, as you can see. We just said that we want an animator. We were saying double tween. Now let's click on plus. Okay, this is some weird stuff because we are not using, probably if we will use the pi value, then we will be able to give the angle well. Right now we are trying to rotate from 0 to 360-degree, but that is not looking like what we want to do. Maybe we can use pi here, and we can have a value from let's say 1 to 4, and pi is what? Pi is 180, right? Pi by 2 is 90. So pi is 180. So 1 and 2, something like this. And then you can just use pi here, or maybe pi can be imported using math library. So math.py, we can say pi math we have to import. So a lot of experiments you can do, by the way. And then you have to import it. So I will import. So this is why this is a workshop, because I don't know what I will do. And that's what I'm trying to do here, like experiment with these things as math, let's say. And now we have math.py into state.value, and let's start from 0, in fact, and let's see what it brings to table. Okay, we got 6 here. So now let's do a hot restart again, and then we will see. Now if I click on plus, and now you can see it is working just fine, rotating very well. let's increase the size of this thing to XL4, and it will look even bigger, and also change the color. So I will change it to something like Indigo 700. And then we have like this huge button here, which can be bold as well if I want. It's already bold like, but let's make it more bolder. Okay, so now if I click on this button, and you can see the kind of things we can do with just some piece of code. And we did state management along with all this crazy stuff uh in just like how many lines of code? It's just 100 plus lines of code. So I hope you enjoyed this particular demo of workshop 2. In another next workshop we will try to do some more stuff. By the way, if you have questions, uh then you can ask me right now, and I'll next time we will create some design, okay, using VelocityX, some design, which means some real designs. And then we will also see how VelocityX can help us. Uh, so someone has asked the question: is Flutter included in this year GSOC? Flutter might not be there, but Dart might be there. Or yes, Flutter Dart mixture of them will be there. So I'm sure about that at least. So we can see that happening. By the way, if you enjoyed, then press the like video, guys, and also share with your friends if you want. And if you want to join the conversation, you can join still using the pinned comment. Reverse direction for decrement, someone is saying. If you want to perform two kind of different animations, then also you can do it technically, but it will require a little work. How you will do it is basically you can have, rather than saying double twin, you can say here in VX animator. I'm not doing it, but I can tell you. Here you can use a tween map, and you can have two different maps, and you can use both of them for different animations. So yeah, that's also very easy. So I'll show you probably in some other workshop, but that should be just fine. But for now, if you want, we can do the same animation triggering in decrement as well, just for the time being, so that it does not look weird. And then if you will just say minus as well, then also it will work. So these sort of things. And by the way, if you want to know more about animation, you can also join my course on codepool.dev, where I have made a full-fledged course on animation, especially implicit one. So you can check codepool.dev as well. If you have more question, please ask in next 2 minutes, and then we will be ending this workshop. And let's see if we get something. Uh, can you explain how this state management is working? Um, if you go to velocityx.dev website, you will find a documentation about it, and I think that's where you will be able to identify easily. But in a nutshell, I will tell you that it's nothing. It's the VX builder, and VX watch you are using is just a stream builder basically. And VelocityX behind the scenes, or VX state behind the scenes, is actually using something called inherited model. So inherited widget or inherited model, you might have heard that the same thing this particular thing is using, along with the power of streams. So that's when it becomes interesting, and that when it becomes useful for us. So that's what I tried to show you. And this, by the way, this indigo color is not looking good at all. So I'll try to replace with blue, if that looks fine. Can we deployment web for a Flutter web? Yes, we can do that. It's totally up to your choice. If you want to do it, you can do it. Yeah, this is looking much better. Um, and this is also, you can see this is a stateless widget. We haven't used stateful anywhere till now, and everything is in one file. but that's fine, we can like move it. Should we use getx or provider for state management? It's up to you. If you like either of them, then you can use them. It's like there is no best state management, but it's mostly like it depends on your experience, it depends on what you like as a person, um, and yes, like what benefits you are getting, or if it is causing you any trouble, then also you can take some decision based on that. So I mean, it's tough call. I mean, I cannot say that you should not use them. You can use them as well. But this is what I am using these days in my project. So that's what I was talking about. Anyway, guys, so it was fun session and thanks for joining. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care. And also, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and also press the like button if you haven't pressed yet. And I'll see you in the next video or workshop. Thank you.